If I had to start from scratch and buy a home right now in Jacksonville, Florida, the first thing I would do is to hire a realtor. And no, I'm not just saying that because I am a realtor. In this video, I am going to show you every step it takes, all the ways that I help my customers save money, time, and some anxiety. Stick around if you want to learn more. Thanks so much for sticking around, friends. My name is Nicole Smith. I'm a local realtor here in the Metro Jacksonville area, and I have been living here for over 11 years. I know a lot of different perspectives of Jacksonville and the surrounding areas. So let's get started. I help people who are relocating, people who are 55 and over. I help military families, first-time home buyers, and people who are right-sizing. So whether you are needing a bigger home because your family's growing, or whether you need to downsize because your kids have gone off to college. That is my expertise. I am certified in probate and in senior citizens. So whatever your needs are, I got you. And not to mention, I'm also a licensed interior designer, and I know how to do home staging. And obviously, when I learned how to become an interior designer, I had to learn how to read blueprints. I had to learn how the house was built from the ground up. So I have a perspective that is a little different from most real estate agents. The number one thing I would absolutely do is to hire a realtor first and foremost before I did anything. And let me tell you why. Your realtor, and I'm just going to reference it as me. If I'm your realtor, however you say it, realtor. If I'm your realtor, I take care of you like you are my child. Whether you're older than me, younger than me, it doesn't matter. Whatever you are like family to me. And I go in there and I show you exactly what to do from the beginning to the end. So let's go. Let's go in the steps of what I do. First and foremost, I set up a consultation. I get to know you, and I get to know what your heart's desires are, what your needs are, what your budget is, what you think your budget is, and we go from there. If you think you can do that on your own, that's fine. But you know what? You need someone trusted who works with lenders and not just your bank down the street, because banks down the street aren't your local lender. They are a bank. Yes, they hold your bank, your funds, and so on, but they don't specialize in mortgages. It is a product they sell, but I like to deal with actual mortgage lenders. That is their only job. They either are refinancing loans or they're getting you home loans. That's what they do. It's their expertise. They know how to get the job done. And even if you are in a special circumstance where you might be not a full-time employee, or maybe you're self-employed, it doesn't matter. These entities know how to get the job done. And if you're not ready to get the job done, they tell you the steps that you need to do to get ready. So you don't want to start shopping for a house without a realtor, and without a realtor referring you to someone they know, like, and trust, who can get the job done. That's one of the first steps. Hire a realtor, have your realtor go over all your wants and needs, have your realtor send you some referrals of some local lenders that they know, like, and trust, who they can talk to, who they can actually knock on their business door and say, hey, let's have a talk about this situation. Not someone who's going to ghost them. It's imperative to have a good relationship with your realtor and your lender. Very important. The next step is we want to find out what is really, really important to you and your exact budget, because your lender might tell you, oh, you qualify, let's just say, for a $300,000 mortgage. Well, then we're going to have a talk with the lender and say, okay, lender, if they buy a $300,000 home, and this is their HOA fee, and this is their home insurance fee, and these are their taxes, what are their payments every single month? Now that number with all those fees could turn into, let's say, $2,000 a month. You might have told me, you know what, Nicole, I feel way more comfortable with $1,800 a month. So we're gonna have to rework those numbers. And that's why you need a good realtor and a good lender who can work the numbers to work your budget. It's very, very important. The next step is, why are you wanting to live in a certain area? Is it strictly budget? Is it because you work near there? Is it because of the school system? Is it because your best friend lives there, your mother lives down the street? We need to know why and what neighborhood is the best one suited for you and your needs. And it's not just about the pretty floor plans. It's not just about the open concept kitchen. No, it has to be more than that. This is a commitment that you're going to make, and I want you to love the commitment and the choice that you make. So we have to go beyond the feel goods. And that is why when I'm going to look through houses, I'm not just looking at the house. I'm looking at the neighborhood. I'm looking at the stats of the neighborhood. Have the property values gone down? Have they held steady? Is the home priced right? What are the taxes like in the area? Is there a flood zone? How much is the insurance going to cost? I help you go over all those things. And it's imperative because it's a very emotional time for you as a buyer. You don't want to have someone who doesn't have your best interest at heart. And I absolutely have my customers' best interest at heart. The next thing we're going to go over is, things look really good online, but in all honesty, if we don't go and see them, you're not going to get the full scope of that neighborhood. You're not going to get the full scope of the home. You're not going to get the full scope of the lot, what is beside it, what is over above it, what is next to it, what's across the street. You have to see the neighborhood in totality. It's very important to get to know the entire neighborhood, not just the house. That is very crucial. And once we're in the home, I like to do the nose test. And some of you may not have the same nose as I do, but I can smell mold. I can smell smoke. I can smell pet. I can smell almost anything. And if it's something that can't be remedied, we're not doing it. Water, mold, those are two serious items that you want to not get involved with if that's something we smell in a house. And I have stopped people from buying homes because I have smelled mold, and black mold is deadly. You do not want to mess with mold. It is very important to get a home inspection. And I have a laundry list of trusted home inspectors that I give you, so you can call them, you can get the quotes, and you can see their availability, and then you hire them. It's as simple as that, but these are someone I've vetted, I've worked with, and I trust. That is imperative to have me help you with that as well, finding your home inspection. Now, getting the money right is the main plan. You want to have your pre-approval. You don't want to go shopping for a house without knowing how much money you have to spend. It just doesn't make sense. If you fall in love with a home that you love and it's not in your budget, it's going to be hard for you to pick another home. So we're not going to go shopping for a home until you know what you're comfortable with in your payment and what the bank is willing to give you. Got you. I got you. And I will do my research. I will find your homes. I will send them to you on a list. You're going to tell me which list of the houses on that list you like. We're going to set up a time to go and tour these homes. And in the meanwhile, we're going to do research. And when I say we, I mean me. You might have some research you're going to do, but I'm going to do the realtor research that you're not thinking about. So that's what I'm doing behind the scenes while we're getting ready to go to tour these houses. And the other thing we're going to talk about is, you know what? How do realtors get paid? Well, realtors get paid by commission. Now, sometimes sellers pay the commission, sometimes buyers pay the commission. If you're in new construction, sometimes builders pay the commission. But it's a discussion that we have to talk about, because if you don't have your money saved up for down payment, closing costs, inspections, broker fees, and commissions, that is the items that you need to know about, because that's what it takes to buy a home. You have to have a good credit score. You have to have money saved. You have to have that game plan together. So if you're not going to be serious about wanting to buy a home, you can still hire a realtor. We can get you on the right path. So your plan might be a 1-year plan. It might be a 2-year plan. It could be 3. It doesn't matter. But hiring a realtor and getting the plan in motion is the key. Understanding how this works. Interest rates are a little higher than they were back in 2020, but they are lower now than they have been in about 2 years. That is a good thing for you. So we're stabilizing. We are stabilizing. The other thing we are doing is we are getting more homes on the market to choose from. So that is a good thing for buyers. You have more choices now. And the frenzy of overbidding and having to pay higher for a house is gone. So you don't have to worry about that anymore. What you have to worry about is making sure your budget is exactly what you can afford. I don't want you buying something and you being house poor. I still want you to enjoy life. I want you to be able to go out and have dinner with your friends. I want you to be able to go on a vacation. So right now is a great time because sellers are willing to negotiate with buyers. And when that happens, that means that you may ask them in the negotiation part, which is what I'm going to tell you about next, but there's room for negotiation. So this market right now is a very good market for buyers. The other item I want to talk to you about is the negotiations. Sometimes the sellers need something to close quickly. Sometimes they want it to close a little bit longer, and depending on your timeline, that could benefit you and it could benefit them. So I make the calls, I do some more research, I find out the information, and then we put in an offer. If our offer is accepted, then we have to go and do a home inspection. And that's where we might have a little more wiggle room for negotiations as well. So that is very important. You do not buy a house without getting it inspected. You want to know what's working and what isn't working. And no home is going to be perfect. And not every seller is going to be willing to negotiate because of whatever is going on in the house. They might have already priced it accordingly. But because I'm going to do the research and check the value of the home in the neighborhood, I will let you know what my opinion is on the house's value. And so we will go from there. If the home is accepted, then we're going to start by making sure that you do your due diligence and don't quit your job, don't buy anything crazy, keep your credit straight, and to keep your purse strings tightened up, that you don't spend any of that money that you need for closing costs. And so, yes, it takes quite a lot of hard work to get the job done. But as the realtor, I'm walking you through every deadline, everything you need to do, what you shouldn't do, and you are not alone on the journey. And I know sometimes you feel like this could be overwhelming, it feels scary. Even in relocation, I know it seems scary. So I say take the leap. Take the leap of faith and come and enjoy the beautiful weather we have here in North Florida. It's absolutely the best. And I am so grateful that I took the leap of faith over 11 years ago and moved to Jacksonville. I love it here. I absolutely love it here. And I am so grateful that I am a homeowner. I'm so grateful that I invested in real estate and I invested in my children, because this is where generational wealth happens. So if you're renting, you need to stop throwing your money away. If you're thinking about moving here, give me a call. I'm going to leave you all my information below, and make sure you send me a DM, send me an email, text me. We need to set up a consultation just to have a chat to see what you're thinking about and if I can service you in all your real estate needs. I am not just someone who opens doors. I research, I go to battle for you, I negotiate, and I have a whole team of people I trust that I refer for you. And if you want my my guide. I have a buyer's guide and I have a relocation guide. Just let me know and I can send it to you for absolutely free of charge. It's a gift I have for you. Just message me below, send me an email, and I'll give it to you. I'll send it over in a PDF and you will have it. So thanks so much for watching the video, friends. It's a very important video. And if you have any more questions about the process and how things work, let me know in the comments or in a personal message. And as I always say, life is too short not to love where you're living. And I'm living the dream in Jacksonville, Florida, and I would love to be your realtor. So make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and watch one of these other videos. I did some great tours over there. Bye for now.